The Kobalt Tools 500 on Fox is sponsored by Budweiser. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager.
58 laps complete. Kurt Busch has led the most of them. He's led 48 of the 58. Only 2 cars have made pit stops under this green flag run, and they are both Busch's teammates. Sam Hornish and David Stremme have been on pit road.
And one of the things that always concerns me here at Atlanta, because it's a really fast racetrack, getting on pit road. Not just getting the car slowed down, but not getting run over when you're trying to slow down still up on the racetrack. So we got to keep an eye on that.
Scott Speed and Joey Logano, the Ray Vestas rookie battle for 2009. As you have a look at Logano, who currently runs in 33rd. Time for today's Home Depot rookie file. Here is Joey on his season's progress so far.
We came along a lot since Daytona. Me as a driver, I feel I've grown a lot. You know, just getting used to these cars, getting used to what I need in the car to tell Zippy and tell the guys to be able to work on the car. I think that just takes time to get used to these things. They drive so different than any other race car out there. So, yeah, it takes a little time to get used to it. But I think after last week in Vegas, it gave us a lot more confidence, including the team and me. So I think we should be all right.
They ran all the laps last week. Mission accomplished. More of the same here as David Rudiman pits, along with Dave Blaney in the 66.
Yeah, I saw Dave Blaney in the 66. He was actually on the apron on the backstretch, like there may be a problem with that 66 car, Krista.
David Rudiman got on his radio and said, you guys have no idea how bad this car is. We need to make a huge change. Really, really loose. He said he had no side bite at all.
Thanks, Krista. The hood's gone up on Dave Blaney's car, so that may be a terminal problem. Reed Sorensen returns to the race with a lot of right side damage. Joe Nemechek pits, and here comes Matt Kenseth, the winner of the Daytona 500 and California the next week, for his first stop.
And you know what? I love the guys that are pitting on this end of the turn 4 into the racetrack, because they looked at who they are pitting around. And if you look at that pit box down there, that end of the pit lane, the 48's got the first pit in. The 20, they kind of felt like he might go a lap down, and he did. The 83's there. The 43's out. There's some good opening pits there that they looked at probably before they made their selection.
I said that was Kenseth's first stop. His first stop in this green flag sequence. Second stop of the day. Tony Stewart coming onto pit road, and Eric Almirola. Steve.
And Mike, Tony Stewart in the 14 car says, I lack rear grip all the way through the turns. He said, I'd rather be tight in the center than loose. Pretty big adjustments. Wedge, air pressure, and of course, 4 tires for Tony Stewart.
Casey Mears is in as this round of green flag stops continues. They pushed Dave Blaney's car to the garage area after closing the hood. John Andretti's also in, and Kyle Busch.
I think he tried to get to pit road and could not get on.
Jamie McMurray is in, so is Bobby Labonte and Michael Waltrip, and here comes Elliott Sadler. Krista.
Well, Jamie McMurray has been complaining of his race car being way too loose. He had called for a major adjustment. The crew's over the wall on the right side. Jamie's saying he's just skating around out there. They definitely were needing the tires on this stop.
Jeff Gordon, Scott Speed, Joey Logano, Dale Earnhardt Jr. all on pit road. And Ryan Newman, Kevin Harvick in as well. Matt?
Same problem for Jeff Gordon that Dale Earnhardt Jr., his teammate, is experiencing. Just too free on entry. Jr. says he was backing up his corner, trying to help get the car to roll through the center and to be good on exit. But he says, I'm really losing a lot of time on exit. Krista?
Well, Matt, we had talked about how Kyle had no front and rear grip. He actually got on the radio back on lap 51 and said, when are we going to get this over with? Meaning he needed to come in for a stop. Steve?
Well, Krista, the problem for Brian Vickers, who as he sees already in his pits, is I am loose on throttle. That's the problem. They clean off the grill as well, Matt.
And Denny Hamlin is in. Chassis adjustment already completed by the gas man Scott Wood. Denny said that the car, although he climbed all the way to second, like so many other people, just seeking grip any way he can get it. The 99 of Edwards coming in next.
We had a tire get loose on pit road, and that brought the caution out.
Yeah, they've had to waive the caution because a mechanic walked out halfway out to the racing surface to get it. It's from Marcus Ambrose's car.
I'm going to tell you what, NASCAR is not going to be happy with that crew member at all. He was halfway across the infield grass. That's the reason the caution was out.
Larry, he wasn't 70 feet from the racing surface when he went out to retrieve that tire.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
Just bad judgment. He thought he was
there
probably.
You see the tire
he thinks
right
he was
there.
doing a good thing. We saw the tire rolling out there.
You can see it's halfway across that grass.
He's thinking it's going to roll out in the racetrack, so I think he was obviously wasn't thinking clearly enough to know not to do that, but still he probably thought he was doing a good thing by retrieving it.
Well, back in the 60s, photographers used to stand in that grass to shoot pictures of the race cars going around. That was a long time ago.
Let me tell you what this caution has done. We only have 6 cars on the lead lap because a lot of our guys up front, like Kurt Busch, Jimmy Johnson, Clint Boyer, Martin Truex Jr., Carl Edwards, Casey Kane, they had not made their green flag stops yet.
Denny Hamlin will be the recipient of the free pass. And yes, this caution flag caused by a crew member entering an unapproved area has left us just a handful of cars on the lead lap. Wow, this changes everything.
What will happen, though, a lot of the cars, here you see Kurt Busch coming to pit road, a lot of the cars that just made their stop, they're going to stay out, and they'll be at the tail end of the lead lap.
So here comes Kurt Busch, who has already led 58 laps today. Krista?
Well, Kurt Busch and his car they have changed a little bit. It was just loose in. Now he says his number 2 is a little loose off also and tight in the center. But he's actually pretty happy with it. He said it's doing a great job pivoting the right front. Track bar is the change. Dick?
Clint Boyer had been running in the 9th position, but 6 people pitted ahead of him before the caution flag. That gave him 3rd spot. He has a car that is performing extremely well, Matt.
Carl Edwards is going to pit the next time by, and then the caution came out. Edwards reports to Bob Osborne as he comes to a stop in the box. It's too tight in the center. His biggest issue, though, loose on exit. In fact, another team spotter told his driver the same thing, that on the bottom, the 99 was not as strong. Bob's going to try to fix it. A little slow. They've got to get the jack up even more. Had trouble getting that left rear tire off. Long stop, luckily under caution, and not a lot of cars to deal with.
Well, they made a great move as Edwards was on pit road when that crew member ran out to retrieve the tire. And as the caution flag waved, they waved Carl right on through so he wouldn't lose a lap on pit road.